Alright, I'm gonna actually start this a little late. It is 10:07 a.m. and we're having like visitors, and it doesn't seem like they're gonna leave anytime soon. So I might as well start with the recording before it gets too late. But I've been looking at this SBES. I was watching this right here for some kind of a morning panic bounce play, and I didn't like how choppy and ugly it looked. And I stopped looking at it, and I had another trade with ILUS, but had I have seen this when this was happening, max volume, and then with the new way that I do dollar risk levels, which I think I'm gonna release the video, but it doesn't seem like it really works that well. Not to go into too much detail, if it goes off of a risk level that is very far from your entry, a little too far, but for what I use it for, which is morning panic bounce plays, it seems to work just fine. But this is a nice move. I am watching this if maybe it can downtrend and maybe make like a higher low, lower low, or double bottom, but it might not happen. It didn't work before. It didn't really downtrend SBES the other day when it offered a morning panic bounce play, so that's something to take into consideration. And I am going to also be watching LWLG. The higher price, this isn't an OTC anymore, it's a listed stock, but this thing actually kind of worked out as a morning panic bounce play. I saw it when it made this little uptrend and then a little baby downtrend, and I thought, okay, I could take a trade and risk off of 16, but they're so weird when they're higher priced, and I still consider it as an OTC even though it's a listed stock now. But this one actually made a move from 16 to 16.7. As for the other ones, this wasn't a morning panic bounce play because the volume was horrible, and I'm gonna probably remove that. This is a listed stock, and AABB didn't have a morning panic bounce play. It continued to uptrend. And ILUS, I did trade this one, and this one, I don't know if I was freaking high or something, but my sales were kind of retarded, but my entry was fine, and I was in at 946, which was right here, 946 at 32 flat. And why was I in it right here, especially when it looks kind of ugly and weird looking? Because of the fact that I've seen this happen multiple times, and at this point, I knew to get in the setup, and I actually got in right before it worked out at 946. And why, again, this was a breakout over VWAP. It kind of breaks VWAP, and then it starts uptrending. It trades with a weird spread, and it keeps heading up. And I don't know what was this sell here. I think I just lowered my risk a little at 947 when it kind of had this pop off, and then it kind of came back. So I just wanted to be a little cautious and lower my risk in case it breaks under 32, and then I'm gonna end up red. But at least I sold some at break even, and then I sold 3. I don't understand this part. Maybe I just thought the price was higher, but the same minute at 947, although almost at 948, I sold 300 shares, and that was at again 32 flats, or at least in this case I got filled at 32.01. I just don't understand my thinking behind that, but it clearly was popping off and doing something. But I understand the 100 shares here that I might have considered selling, because it looks like maybe it just pops a little and then it comes back under, but this does not make sense to me. I don't understand this part right here. And then I sold 100 shares at 950, which was right here, and it was just looking a little weird. I actually got a really nice sell, really nice execution at 329, which is the top basically, and it's held this level ever since at give or take 32.5. But I don't like the way it's looking right now, and how it trades with a spread sometimes. So that was just the idea there, but it might not be able to do much else. It might downtrend from here, but that was my trade there. If I was perfect, I would have noticed SBES, and I could have considered trading it when it made this actual proper clean looking downtrend. I don't mind missing LWLG because that one has always been kind of weird to play off of, and it offered a move towards the upside, which was nice. But that's where I'm at right now. I don't really see any other setups at the moment, but I'll keep looking, and I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 10:38. I'm not sure how much I'm up on this trade. It's probably not going to be too much because I am trading a $5 risk level with this setup, because it's not a regular morning panic bounce play, but this is a panic, just not a morning panic, so not the same. And I did draw this very aggressive trend line. Something I've learned with a lot of these that are really volatile and very scary and jumpy is just to have an overall trend line, and if it looks like it's going to break it, to get out. And in this case, I got out of my last position because of the fact that there was like 160,000 share seller at the ask, so I was a bit cautious, and when I saw that big seller, I thought maybe this thing isn't going to make a move much higher. And in this case right now, at least I'm wrong. It's still holding this trend line and it's still making a move towards the highs, but pretty impressive move right here with AABB. Just a very crazy sell-off, as you can see. And I was in 500 shares because it was a $5 risk level. I don't know if I'll release that video with how I calculate dollar risk a lot quicker now, but I was in 500 shares at 297. I was at 1033 right here, and that was after I had this crazy downtrend. And right here, when I had this explosive sell with max volume right at the lows right here, just crazy. And then it kind of gets back up, scary wick towards the highs, and then that gets sold off into, but it's still trying to base around this 296 level. That's when I went ahead and I bought again right here at 1033, right here, this candle. It was a bit scary because the next candle, it kind of broke a little lower level, but it managed to hold itself. It was looking like it was trying to maybe hold a level here and kind of curve back to the upside. So it wasn't until 10:35 that I sold my first section at 2997, almost at 30, and that was at 10:35 right here. Into this candle, I sold some at pretty close to 30, just really close, 2997. And then I sold another 200 shares the same minute at 2996 at 10:35, and then I sold my last 200 shares. Now this is a bit weird because I put in a sell order, and then it didn't seem like it was going to. I'd be selling right now because it just broke the trend line, but it can still uptrend. It's just how conservatively I would trade something like this, because of the fact that it's pretty scary. And I would have how did I make this trend line? I made it off of the wick here to the corner of this candle here, so it kind of you can see it followed it pretty nicely. I would be out everything at this point right here, even though this thing can like catch itself, make a higher low off of this, and then uptrend. I would be out. I would have been out already as soon as it broke that trend line right there. And I did not cancel this order. I mean, it did cancel, but what happened was that I got filled and then the order was canceled, so I'm out of this position completely. I'm not sure at what price I was filled at this last section, but it was at 1036, so it might have still been at 30 flat. And I'm not sure how much I'm up, but I'll make an update when I know for sure. And that was a setup here with AABB. Very impressive. SBES didn't really make like a lower low or a higher low that was interesting. This is just regular price action. I'm not interested in trading this. Nothing here with JWEL, ILUS, nothing, although it did hold that almost 33 level for a pretty long time before it downtrended. From my entry here at 946, I mean, it would have been really hard to sell for a loss. This is a new one. I'm not too interested in it because I don't like the lack of volume, but it's just there. I'll make an update later, but that's the second trade with AABB. Just a small $5 risk trade, and yeah, I'll figure out how much I'm up on the day, at least so far. I don't think I'll trade anything else, but I'm very happy that I'm trading such a small $5 risk level, even though it means I'm not making much on these setups. I'm just, I want to see consistency. I want to see more profitability trading these things until I, consider moving that dollar risk level up and trading, more money in terms of what the position ends up being. Okay, it's 10:48. Yeah, the bounce. We have the bounce here, the downtrend. It can hold 297 maybe, or maybe 296, but I think it's just too much for me to consider trading it again. I mean, it could still work out. I just feel like it'd be kind of degenerate to jump in again for the next bounce. Although it can make a move towards the upside, I think it's starting to lose more momentum the more, it makes a bounce. And then here, maybe it'll make a tiny bounce, right? And then it'll downtrend, or maybe it'll break this level and keep moving towards the upside, maybe even hit VWAP. But I just think I'm not going to consider this one anymore for a bounce setup, even though it can do something nice. It just seems a little too much. I do like how there is low volume, so that means maybe the big sellers with a lot of shares are out of it, so the thing can make a move towards the upside. I just think it'd be kind of degenerate for me to jump in on the trade and try to trade this bounce as well. So I'll leave it to that, and I'll make an update on what this one does ultimately. Even if it makes a super nice move, I just think it's a bit degenerate to just be jumping in at every bounce. But maybe that's just me being a chicken. But for right now, I'm not going to be interested in trading this. Alright, it is 3:44. We are close to the market close, and if I was more gutsy, I could have been in this at 238, but I'm just gonna watch this. Some of these late day panics don't really pan out, or they don't really have enough time to make a move towards the upside. But this one can totally do something, especially because the volume, at least right now, seems to be fading. Well, there is just a lot of people who are dumping their shares at the bid. Not necessarily a lot of people at the ask, just a lot of dumping at the bid. In theory, could have been in at 238. That could have been possible, but late day, afternoon panics, they don't really work out that well. But this one might, because of how clean the drop was. And as for the last time I was recording, it was around here. It did make a move from 29.8 to 31. The thing with AABB is that it wasn't offering the best range, at least percent range, but it did make a move. It didn't get to VWAP, but it got right under it, which would have been a nice point to sell into, a nice goal. At the market close, I'll make an update and see where this one ends up, but this is a pretty brutal downtrend. If I was able to, I would have maybe considered shorting, but honestly not really. This is kind of random if you ask me. This could have been realistic, but not this. This is just a pretty big drop. Okay, it is 5:39 p.m. and I am here to call it off. Overall, I am up, but not very much today because I traded small, like $150 positions, trading off of a $5 risk level. And while that kind of sucks because I was pretty profitable with ILUS, although this one I could have sold much better. I could have sold into the uptrend, but I don't know what was up with me, selling basically at the same as my entry price. But this offered a little move there, and then I did trade AABB, which was this one right here. I didn't trade this one. This one could have been something I could have traded, as well as this one. But yeah, before this day, like, besides a morning panic bounce setup, I was not really doing that well, or at least I didn't feel like I was doing that well. Just trading other setups besides morning panic bounce plays. But I'm very happy that today, even though it was the same day that I lowered my risk level just by a little, it ended up working out. And if I can see more consistency with these setups, that are not morning panic bounce plays, I'm definitely gonna have to raise that dollar risk level and then see more profits. So that's all I have for today. Some good lessons there and some good experience. I would have traded SBES if I were to have seen this, and that's fine. As for JWEL, nothing here, just a really weird one. Nothing with ABQQ, no volume. This one was pretty nice, LWLG. It went as high as 1760. It's a higher priced OTC. That's all I have for today, although I might release that dollar risk level video, and that will be an additional one. But besides that, that's all I have here, and let's see if I can keep seeing more consistency trading, setups that are not just a regular morning panic bounce play.